estar. Es estar. Desde mates hasta triples, sabes que tenemos que conseguirlo. ¿Sabes qué es? Cientos del estadio a tope, jugadores listos para jugar. El árbitro explica las reglas y los entrenadores no paran de motivarse. Los aficionados están expectantes porque sus apuestas están dando sus frutos. Jugada tras jugada, canasta tras canasta, el tiempo se acaba, la presión aumenta porque es hora de jugar. Desde mates hasta triples, sabes que tenemos que conseguirlo, ¿sabes qué es? De cuarto en cuarto, de ciudad en ciudad, de país en país, es hora de jugar. Que no pare, es hora de jugar. Nadie puede pararnos, es hora de jugar. Gimnasio, baloncesto, baloncesto callejero. El tiempo se acaba, 10 segundos en el reloj. Las estrellas no están abiertas. ¿Quién va a tirar? Hora de jugar. Hora de, hora de, hora de, hora de encestar. Hora de jugar. Hora de jugar. Desde mates hasta triples, sabes que tenemos que conseguirlo. ¿Sabes qué es? Hora de jugar. Hemos estado entrenando. Hora de jugar. Él juega, ella juega, nosotros jugamos. Ellos juegan, todos están listos. Es hora de jugar. ¿Estás listo? Es hora de jugar. Del primer cuarto al cuarto. We got top 10 videos of the month, going from state to state, country to country, yeah. DJ Nothin Nice Top 10. Top 10 video. Top 10 video. Top 10 video. Videos of the month. Top 10 videos of the month.
Joining us for today's Lunch and Learn, the Women Who Shaped Central Florida History. I'm Katie Kelly. I'm the Special Programs Coordinator here at the Orange County Regional History Center. I'm going to share a little bit of information about our organization for anyone who may be attending a Lunch and Learn for the first time. The History Center is located in downtown Orlando, and we offer 3 floors of permanent exhibitions, renowned special exhibitions from the Smithsonian, and a variety of interactive and unique experiences and programs for guests of all ages. We greatly appreciate your interest and support for all of our programming. While the History Center is partially funded by Orange County, donations to the Historical Society of Central Florida are vitally important to the center's ability to serve the community and continue to fulfill our mission to serve as a gateway for community engagement, education, and inspiration by preserving and sharing Central Florida's continually unfolding story. Donations and other forms of support for the History Center allow us to continue to care for and upkeep our historic collections, allow us to present special exhibitions, and offer innovative programming like the ones we're doing today and all the other things that we do. I'm going to put a link in the chat for anyone who's interested in supporting the History Center and the Historical Society, whether it be through our programming or in other ways. Today's program is facilitated as a webinar, so that means that attendees do not have access to your video and audio. We will save some time at the end for questions, so please feel free to put any questions that you have for Noelia in the chat. And we will take some time to address those at the end. I also did want to mention that for the past couple of years, we've been doing our Lunch and Learns virtually. These happen the first Friday of every month. And I did want to give everyone a heads up for those of you who attend these regularly. We will be going back to in-person starting next month. So our Lunch and Learn that's going to be held on April 1st is going to be in person, but we will offer a hybrid option, which means that we will offer an option to attend that webinar online. So you will still be able to access it, but I just wanted to give a heads up that it's going to be a little bit different than we have been doing, a little bit different format. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. So I'm going to turn things over to Noelia Irizarry Roman, who is our research associate here at the History Center, working in our collections department. So Noelia, please feel free to take it away. I'm going to mute myself and turn off my camera, so you'll have full reign, okay? But I'm in the background if you need anything.
Thank you. I might, because I'm terrible with technology, but good afternoon, everyone. I'm so grateful for everyone that has connected. I hope that what I have to share today will be something new for some of you, and that will inspire everyone like I am to just continue doing this type of work. So let me just share my screen so you can see my PowerPoint. And here we are. Well, I am the History Center's Research Associate, and I work in the, well, of course, in the Research Center. This program is designed as an introduction to the life of 7 women who made history in Central Florida. While this format allows for only a few minutes of discussion on each of them, their individual stories require, deserve, and inspire much more time spent on commemorating and understanding their contributions. I will discuss today the following women: Mary Jane Johnson, midwife; Mercedes Clark, nurse and civil rights activist; Ruby Sanders, health educator and broadcasting personality; Marion Bregner, journalist and freedom of information activist; Mary Ignacia Johnson, activist and the first Hispanic city commissioner in Orlando and Orange County's first Hispanic commissioner too; Nancy Alvarez, journalist and news anchor; and Barbara Lee Cepeda, entrepreneur, activist, and teacher. Also, we are honored today to welcome a special guest, Mr. Charles Johnson, who is one of Mary Ignacia's children. We thank him for all that he has done to help us preserve Mary's history. We also thank the Cepeda family for letting us use their photos and video clips. And if we have any other family members here, I am so now intimidated and inspired by you. And we also welcome you and thank you for being here. Okay, so about the History Center's collection. For the women that I will be giving these sneak peeks today, we have the Mary Ignacia Johnson papers, thanks to her family, including Charles, who is here today. We have the Marion Bregner papers and the Mercedes Clark collection. These collections consist of photography, first-person accounts, newspaper, documents, speeches, books. It's a lot. Our museum is the repository for these materials. And this cover, they give you an overview of the depth of their activism and the decades every one of them spent just doing their work and making this a better society for everyone. The Mercedes Clark collection is very expansive, and part of it is on display on our second floor exhibit, How Distant. And one note of the photos that you'll see here today, those of Mary Ignacia Johnson, of Marion Bregner, Mary Jane Johnson, and Mercedes Clark are part of the History Center's collection. So if anyone would ever like to use them for their research, just let me know and we can share those with you. Okay, so about Women's History Month. We now celebrate it very officially. And just to give us a few details, it had its origins going back to the 1980s. And just from the 1980s to the 1990s, Congress passed a series of laws and then proclamations that make Women's History Month what it is today, which is like everyone observes it, commemorates it, and takes it very seriously because it is much needed history that we need to educate ourselves on. Okay. I call this section Connecting Threads because it's just a few thoughts I have on how I see all these women coming together as we sit down to just learn about them. To me, their life stories are examples of civic responsibility. All of them still face sexism, for example, throughout their lives. In addition, half of the trailblazers, well, most of them featured here today are Black women, as well as Afro-Puerto Rican, who some of them lived through the Jim Crow era, the Civil Rights Movement, Black Lives Matter now, and they all shaped Central Florida in ways that we are still understanding. These 8 women entered and thrived in structures that had historically excluded women, particularly women of color. Be it Mary Ignacia Johnson as the first Hispanic commissioner in both Orlando and Orange County, Marion Bregner's tireless advocacy for journalism in an era where most journalists were male, or Mercedes Clark's work as a nurse and civil rights leader, they made landmark contributions in all areas of public life in Central Florida. As the words of Afro-Dominican scholar Loria Garcia Peña come to mind, I'd like to share this quote with you. Gloria Garcia Peña made this statement on the structures of racism in 2020, in the aftermath of George Floyd's murder and during the Black Lives Matter protest, nationally and internationally, that they took place. I think her words help us put into context the enormity and significance of the work each of these women achieved. Of oppression, Garcia Peña writes, and this is, so let's all together read the quote. What sustains racism is precisely that it does not reside on individual choice, but rather in a system that undergirds every single one of our institutions. Racism shapes not only individual actions, but more dangerously, collective, civic, government, and official responses to everyday life. From traffic violations to college admission, to which mothers are cared for during childbirth and which are left to die, to which children are disproportionately disciplined in schools, to which type of hairdo is considered appropriate, to who is perceived as too loud or too angry, to who can run, nap, read, and watch birds in peace. Racism and its father, white supremacy, are rooted and ingrained in the fabric of our everyday world. Eradicating racism means we need to confront directly the structures that sustain each individual and collective racist act. I argue that the 7 women that we're going to be talking about today very literally embody Gloria Garcia Peña's call for action. You'll see that the sites, what I call the sites for their activism in Central Florida, were very varied. Some of them were teachers are teachers, so you have them making change in schools, hospitals, our communities in Orange and Osceola County, local government like Mary Ignacia Johnson, newspapers like Nancy Alvarez, public events, even radio like Ruby Sanders. They all transformed every single one of these institutions. Okay, a sense of place. Some of them, half of the women discussed here today were actually not born in Central Florida. For example, Ruby Sanders was born in Tennessee. And I'm just gonna go back so we can take a look at her photo. Oh, sorry, I went to the wrong slide. Okay. Ruby Sanders was born in Tennessee and came to Orlando in the late 1940s from Akron, Ohio. Mary Ignacia Johnson was born in New York, and Barbara Lee Cepeda moved here from Puerto Rico in the early 2000s. What they brought to Central Florida was their expertise and a sense of place. I mean a sense of place for their work and for themselves, for their activism, for their determination to build bridges, a sense of place based on a shared work ethic, centered in their knowledge of their specific fields of work. This sense of place, to me, is what unites their stories today. It highlights the intersectionality of their work. And I use the word intersectionality here, aware that it is a new term. However, as we noticed from their biographies, they were pioneers of intersectionality in their time, before we even had the word as we use it today. Before we had a name for their expansive worldview, for their expansive and inclusion vision for women's role in society. Okay, so let's start with Mary Jane Johnson. Mary was a midwife, an educator, a community advocate, a health advocate, and a civil rights activist. The words that I just cited of Garcia Peña really come to mind now when I think of Mary Jane's work. When Garcia Peña refers to a system that sustains racism, particularly in the area of health of childbirth, Mary Johnson's career as a midwife is a clear example of facing that deliberate system of exclusion. However, Mary, in her own way, confronted that discrimination to the extent of delivering over 1,500 babies in Orlando. Mary's role in Orlando's Black community as a midwife is staggering. There's no way to describe it, even if you had hours. It's staggering in its longevity and activism. In segregated Orlando, Mary delivered thousands of babies at home. I have mentioned here earlier of how racism shapes who has access to healthcare, for example, could not be more evident in Mary's case. Mary Jane was an authority in midwifery. Her home was a local safe haven for Black mothers delivering their babies at a time of segregated access to healthcare. The expertise of midwives like Mary was looked down upon by white medical professionals. While Mary was a trusted and respected expert in her community, she encountered criticism from local white medical professionals who claimed that the work of midwives like her was unsanitary and unprofessional. The professionalization of childbirth in Orlando, starting in 1931 with a law that required midwives to be licensed, disproportionately impacted minority communities. This 1931 law required midwives to be licensed and attend a minimum of 15 births with a registered physician. This was basically impossible for a Black midwife to achieve when Orlando was segregated. These type of laws were designed under the guise of public health to encroach in spaces where minority communities had made their own self-sufficient spaces that they had to create in the first place because of discrimination. Orlando Sentinel article, by this time noting her 49 career, is one of the first instances where you can read the fascinating number of 1,500 babies. And if we just take a look, for example, at the first column, we have a quote from Mary. "I've delivered undertakers, lawyers, many people who live right here in Central Florida," she said. "After 49 years, I can recognize trouble. I will make sure that the mother gets immediate and appropriate medical attention. If I didn't get but one more year at this, that would be good. I love it." So that's so important that she is very in public, in a newspaper, very clear that if your mother is in immediate need of medical assistance, she will provide it. Because that wasn't the case for many women, even today, who go to hospitals for childbirth. Mary Jane Johnson again. Okay. These two articles chronicle the legalization, the professionalization of midwifery. I'm not saying that it was ever made illegal. These laws did have the effect of midwifery decline drastically after the 1930s. And there's a note of what I mentioned of when midwifery was licensed, you had to get a license. And if the news clipping that says modern medicine phases out lay midwives, that one is really it couldn't be more evident, an example of how even at the time it was understood that this was what was happening to the community. And we see a photo of Mary Johnson as she keeps her medical bag packed. And just as a description of her determination and spirit, I love that this title is Midwifery, Granny, referring to Mary Johnson won't quit. And that's just another example of something that we see today. And anytime that we study women who have made history, who are actually most women in the world, is that you just don't stop. You can't stop. They don't ever quit. They keep going because they know, as Mary Johnson knew, that they had vital roles in the community. Like, she delivered thousands and thousands of babies in Central Florida. It's just amazing. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Mercedes Clark. Mercedes Clark was a community activist, civil rights advocate, nurse, teacher, and those are just a few of the qualifications that apply to Mercedes, and they are not enough. She, like Mary Jane Johnson, shaped the Central Florida of today. Born in Orlando in 1931, the same year that the law that I just mentioned passed that regulated the profession of midwifery was established, the same year that they passed that law. Mercedes, however, by the early 1960s, was president of the Orange County Association of Registered Nurses. During her lifetime, she served in over 25 Central Florida boards. She also became a public speaker, sharing her story, and she always emphasized the importance of education and perseverance. Throughout her life, she directly addressed, very publicly, racism. In addition, she was very intentional in making space for Black women like her in the medical profession in Central Florida. Okay, so one of the things I mentioned is that in the History Center, if you were to visit today, right now on the second floor on our How Distant exhibit, you'll see many items from Mercedes's collection that we are the repository for in the museum. I wanted to share one of those that is not actually on display right now. And it's a 2008 speech that she made where she offered an overview of her life. And since we started with Garcia Peña's quote about systems of exclusion and how it particularly impacts women, we just discussed Mary Jane Johnson, and we have Mary Ignacia Johnson coming up. I wanted to share this brief quote from Mercedes's autobiography, how she describes her experiences. And this is just 2 sentences from a long document. Okay, in her own words, much stress was encountered in the position and denial was issued to me for promotion of qualified Black nurses to supervisory positions and the hiring of Black nurses from northern cities. I saw degrading anecdotal notes written on Black applications, which had no logical reasons for not hiring. Many were later hired by me and demonstrated excellent performances. So she not only confronted racism individually, but she just took the effort to correct it, to be corrective in the way that she could. And we'll come back later for a moment on Mercedes Clark. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to move on to Miss Ruby Sanders. Okay. Ruby, for almost 25 years here in Orange County, starting in the late 1940s up to the mid-1960s, was an Orange County government health educator, Sentinel columnist, philanthropist, broadcasting personality, musician. And when I say that Ruby was everything, I really am not exaggerating. She was everything. I first encountered her name while working on another research project. Her photo and caption, the one that I'm showing you here, show up in the 1955 Voice of Orlando business directory. And it's just her beautiful smile caught my attention. And also the fact that she was identified as a health worker, as an actual government health worker, just caught my attention. I was struck by this, and I started following her trail across newspapers, city directories, and a few other archival materials, and you get the sense that she was a Renaissance woman in Orlando, and she is still very much understudied. She moved from Akron, Ohio in 1946. Almost immediately, she started working with the Orange County government, which she did for most of her time living in Orlando until she passed away in 1969. She led efforts to tackle public health matters such as preventive care and the importance of X-rays to identify tuberculosis and other diseases. She became so well respected not only in Orlando, but also in the state of Florida, that in 1952 she gave the principal address titled The Long Adventure for the Florida Conference of Tuberculosis Workers at the banquet at Bethune-Cookman College. As we see examples from these newspapers, she was also a musician, a radio personality, a philanthropist, and a Sentinel columnist. When you go through how she shows up in the Orlando Sentinel archives, she was either chronicle for the newspaper, for the Black section of the newspaper, events going on around town, or she was herself the subject of the news. Like this one, where she's like on the top. English is not my first language, it is Spanish, and now I am so excited that I am forgetting some words. But I mean like the top half of the screen where it says Spiritual Hour Anniversary Celebrated. So by 1956, she was on the second anniversary of her radio show, The Gospel Hour. She was also a philanthropist, and she was chairman of the Women's Day Fund Drive. Her voice in 1962, the Orlando Sentinel wrote, "Her voice is known to thousands of radio listeners as she is identified with regarded gospel music each week." So she not only somehow occupied the space of physically just going to all of these different events around town, she was in the radio, she was in events as a musician, and she was also creating some of the events. So it's just another example of someone through individual actions tackling, addressing a system. I was struck by this notice from March 4th, 1963, which, oh my goodness, I just realized that today is March 3rd. So tomorrow is the anniversary of this notice where we learned that Ruby Sanders and Mercedes Clark actually worked in an event together. I found this interesting because sometimes when we do these biographical approaches, it can be difficult to remember that some of these women actually worked together, they collaborated. And this 1963 brief news is an example of that. Ruby and Mercedes were actually important organizers of this event. And here you can see by 1963 that Mercedes is identified as president of the Orange County Association of Registered Nurses. And that Ruby Sanders was also directing one of the musical performances. Marion Bregner was a journalist at Freedom of Information advocate, and she's one of the founders of the Joseph L. Bregner's Research Center here at the History Center. Joseph was her husband. So with her husband, she just changed the landscape of television and radio and printed news in Central Florida. And individually, she again was the first of women. This is one of the few photos that we have on the collection that I thought it was very interesting because at this time, women, it was a male-dominated industry, news. Even though we'll have an example later in this presentation of Nancy Alvarez, by this time when Marion was succeeding, it was still a very much male-dominated business. And this is just one of the few examples where she has people's attention. When we have a lot of photos, if you're interested of Marion in our museum, but in many of them it's striking because she's either the only woman in the photos, or maybe she's the one or two women in the photos. So it's just such a visual reminder of the spaces that she occupied, like the demographics of those spaces. She was also a philanthropist, and she led Mary charity efforts in Orlando. We can come back to Marion at the end of the presentation, but for now, I am going to move on to Mary Ignacia Johnson. Mary Ignacia Johnson changed Central Florida for the Hispanic community and for everyone. She was the first Latina in many local government institutions, in local nonprofits, and in gaining visibility for the work of Latinas in local media and business. Born in New York City in 1933 to a Cuban father and a Puerto Rican mother, Mary Ignacia was always a proud Cuban Puerto Rican American. She was the first Hispanic to be elected to the Orlando City Council. In addition, she was the first Hispanic to be elected to the Orange County Board of County Commissioners. For almost 3 decades before retiring in 2004, she was a devoted and much admired public servant. The scope of Mary's achievement cannot be limited to just a few minutes. She was particularly interested in improving the life of all women in Central Florida. The photos in this slide show Mary as she is remembered by anyone who talks of her, who describes her as she was always engaged, smiling with her sleeves rolled and working. In 1999, Mary founded the Victims Service Center, and this is perhaps her most profound public service project. The Victims Service Center is the first of its kind, was the first of its kind in Central Florida when it opened. And here with this institution, we see how Mary Ignacia, like Mary Jane, was very invested in women's health and women's access to healthcare. She literally created a center that did not exist before to serve the needs of victims of sexual assault and all victims of abuse. The Victims Service Center of Central Florida today offers 24/7 assistance, and it's just an incredible resource of the community. They support victims throughout their healing process if they need help with legal procedures, and they just do victim advocacy. Without Mary, this life-saving support in Central Florida would not exist, or would have arrived much more later. As I said, she was proud to be Cuban, Puerto Rican American. And I wanted to share with you this 1998 Sentinel News article because it has several statements from her peers, from leaders who speak in admiration of her career. And also, if we go to the third column on that news article, you'll see that it says, Johnson defended her support for Hispanics as long-standing and part of her efforts for all minority and women. So she also had a vision of inclusivity and also of making very public statements of unity and of action, and that we need to advocate for all. There's one quote by Paul Kean, and he says, she has the experience and is one of the most hardworking servants in Orange County government, and that is how she is still remembered. She, as I keep saying, she was an inspiration for many, particularly in the Hispanic community who came after her. Mayra Oribe said this of Mary Johnson. She said, she set the road for people like me and so many other women who have come down this trail. To be the first Hispanic woman elected in Orlando, it is enormous. And Mayra is right. At the time that Mary Ignacia Johnson in the late 70s, early 80s became a public servant, many advances had taken place, but she still, as we see now, was basically the first woman, the first and also just in general, the first Hispanic to be occupying these spaces. If you're interested in understanding and learning more about the efforts from the Hispanic community in Central Florida and within the Hispanic community, studying Mary's life and career is a good entryway into that. Thanks to her family's donation of her papers, we have, for example, a collection of this magazine, the Central Florida Hispanic Magazine, a magazine about Hispanic Central Florida. And we have several volumes of the issues of this magazine that are part of the Mary Ignacia Johnson collection. So she's not only herself a model, but the way that her life has been studied, and as we're trying to historicize it, it is also an entryway into understanding other contributions in Central Florida. Okay, so Nancy Alvarez is a very, I think for many here, she might be a very muy conocida, muy famosa, a very familiar face. She is a journalist. She is now the Florida United Way Senior Vice President of Community Relations and Equity Impact, which when someone has that title, it means that they are literally in charge of community outreach and of building bridges and of connecting communities. Recently, she began hosting a segment on WFTV called Breve del Nueve, which offers daily news briefs in Spanish. Her journalism work is also focused in migration stories in Central Florida. For example, she was one of the first reporters on the ground in Puerto Rico in 2017 after Hurricane Maria. And she later covered relief efforts in the island and in Orlando. As this Sentinel news clipping that I've shared here shows us, she made history with Jorge George Esteves as the first Hispanic anchor team in Central Florida. I just think it's frankly, I think it's sad that we had Ruby Sanders in the 1950s, 60s. We also had Marion Bregner at that time making broadcasting history. But that unfortunately, it took until just a few years for the first Hispanic anchor team to be, to be formed and to be the official ones at a mainstream channel. However, it happened. It finally happened. And many of the first are still to come. And it's thanks to the women like Mary Ignacia Johnson, like Ruby Sanders, like Marion Bregner, that others like Nancy Alvarez today have an entryway into these spaces that are so important for communicating stories of people who have usually been excluded. So at the time that they were named the news team, she said, "We're both really proud of this. I think it speaks volumes about how our community is changing. It's important that the community sees their TV stations as reflections of themselves. It's important to me that little Hispanic girls watch the news and see me." And personally, there couldn't be a more relevant statement. And there's another interview when she was named the Florida United Way Senior Vice President of Community Relations and Equity Impact, where she addresses this issue a bit differently. And she says that by 2021, she's sort of tired of it being like, she's sort of being tired, she says, of hearing the terms like, oh, the first in this, the first Hispanic in this, the needs of the Hispanic community. So she still sees that the news media is somehow, instead of presenting the news like everyone, and I realize that I might not be making this point very clearly in English, what she says is that it shouldn't be like Hispanic news segment, for example, but that we are Latinos, we make up almost 40% of the population right now in Central Florida. So instead of having like very small, brief segments of like what's going on with the Hispanic community, we should be covered equally because we are part of the community, a large part of the community. And that's why she says that it is so important for her personality. And I agree. It's important to me that little Hispanic girls watch the news and see me. Because as we know from what Mary Ignacia Johnson did, visibility is so important because you need that inspiration to keep going. Yes, okay. So this is before we move to the question and answer section, and before I want to finalize showing you a clip. I want to end with Barbara Liz Cepeda. Barbara Liz is the founder and director of the Escuela de Bomba y Plena Tata Cepeda. This is the first school in Central Florida dedicated to teaching bomba y plena in our area, in our collecting area in Central Florida. Okay. If there are any Latinos or Caribbean people watching this program, when you hear the words bomba y plena, they'll know what I'm talking about. It's like our dance and music. It literally is our music. So the fact that she opened this school here in 2018, it speaks to the reality that there are a lot of Puerto Ricans, including myself, living here now in Central Florida, and that our presence here now, for example, with the school opening, it becomes a cultural institution now in Central Florida. So now Puerto Rican, Afro-Puerto Rican music and dance is part of education in Central Florida. Okay, so bomba y plena are two of the most important folkloric dance, drumming, and singing traditions of Puerto Rican cultural heritage, bomba and plena. Okay. Just a very brief description of what bomba and plena is. Bomba originated from the plain. Oh, I should have said that this definition, since my first language is Spanish, I am relaying this definition from the National Endowment of the Arts. So, bomba originated from the playing of battle drums on Saturday nights, Sundays, and holidays by enslaved Africans on the plantations of the coastal areas of Puerto Rico in the early Spanish colonial period of the 17th century. It was a music of communal expression, survival, relief from misery, celebration, and resistance, and it is still a vital part of Puerto Rican daily life and identity. Plena, sometimes referred to as the song newspaper, developed near the beginning of the 20th century. It is also a percussion-based dancing and singing tradition that involves the playing of the pandereta, a round handheld drum struck with the palm. Barbara Liz, and you see her here with the beautiful skirt. What she's wearing, this is a traditional skirt. The shape, the design is what a bomba y plena skirt looks like. Barbara Liz is a member of the famous Cepeda family, who for over 8 generations have been the historians, ambassadors, and teachers of the bomba y plena tradition in not only in Puerto Rico, but also internationally. Barbara Liz has been working as bilingual educator for bomba y plena. She has been working as bilingual educator and teacher in the Osceola County School District for 15 years. She is recognized internationally as dance ambassador for bomba y plena. And as an entrepreneur and teacher, she has changed forever the cultural landscape of Central Florida with the opening of her school. Her school, like the description that I just read for you of Bomba y Plena, that was a musical site of resistance as of community building. Her school, I think, is also a site for community building and activism. She says that when the pandemic started and in-person classes were not possible for a long time. She just started doing Zoom lessons. And then she reached not only a local audience, but an international audience. And she had people from everywhere in the world signing up and learning about Bomba Plena from a Puerto Rican teacher living in Central Florida. During this time where they were engaged in virtual programming to serve the community, they also expanded their programming to include virtual events on Afro-Puerto Rican and African-American history and literature. They were also very involved in supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. They are allies. She's also Afro-Puerto Rican. The Cepeda family is Afro-Puerto Rican. And the family, in keeping the tradition of Bomba Plena alive, are really also a family and an example of people who have fought racism and discrimination. And she's very, when you talk to her, I had the chance to speak with someone from her school last week when I was working on this presentation. She's so very clear of her African ancestry, on how important it is and how she needs to be an ally and she wants to be an ally. So during the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020 and up until now, she also created book clubs and all other virtual programs to sit down, study, and talk about Afro-Puerto Rican history. Because as she says, and as we all know, if you don't know your history, how are you going to move forward? So if you haven't seen the Escuela de Bomba y Plena Tata Cepeda, you'll see them, you'll be seeing more. I think they're going to become a household name. I should say that she named her school after her mom, Tata Cepeda. It is also a tradition of a woman honoring a woman. These are two photos of, as recent as last week, they were recognized during a Black History Month celebration at the Orlando City Hall. And I think we are going to finalize for now, to have a few minutes for question and answers, or if you all just want to talk about, you don't have to make questions. If any of you know of these women, let's just share and talk about them. Please type your comments. If you want to take a look at another of the photos, we'll do that. And in just like, I'll take 30 seconds. I'm going to switch us for a moment. I want to play a clip of the dance school. So I am going to find this and then I'll share my screen again so that you all can see what's happening. Katie, is that okay? Do you think?
Yeah, can you hear me, Noelia?
Yes.
Okay. It's giving me some little box saying that it can't hear me, but clearly it's a liar. So yeah, please go ahead. You might have to switch applications. Yep, I see it. Okay, perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sharing two applications. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm trying to see what I'm doing wrong.
We can see the video, so you're good to go.
Okay.
That's what we're
Thank you.
seeing right now. Yep.
Thank you. Okay, so here we go.
Esta es la Escuela de Bomba y Plena Tata Cepeda, and welcome to Fusion's Fest, Diversitastic Dining Experience, Puerto Rico.
I hate to stop because it's just so amazing. If you go to their social media, Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you'll be able to see daily more photos and videos of their performances around town. I think I'm going to pause speaking for a while. If there's anyone in the audience who has anything to say, or if you all want to talk about a specific topic or anything, just thank you. So I don't think I can see the comments because this is just because I'm a terrible with this. So I am going to go back to, sorry, Katie.
No, that's
Stop
totally
sharing.
fine. Yeah, no. Can you hear me, Noelia?
Yes,
Okay.
I can hear
Yeah,
you.
so you can go ahead and stop sharing. We do have a few comments and a question. While people gather their thoughts and include questions, I'm going to share really quickly some information. Just we'll come back and we'll talk about all of this. But while we wait for people to gather their thoughts and put their questions and thoughts in the chat box, I did want to highlight a couple of things that we have coming up. Can you see my screen, Noelia? Oh, wait, here we go. Here we go.
Yes.
Okay. So we are continuing to celebrate Women's History Month. So we have on March 10th, another incredible woman that we're honoring here at the History Center, Mary Ann Carroll. This is our third annual Women's History Celebration Breakfast. So from 8 to 10 a.m. next Thursday, we'll be honoring Mary Ann Carroll. Her daughter, Dr. Renee Mills, will be joining us to share some history about her mother and to talk about the ways that she broke barriers through art. So many of you may be familiar with the Florida Highwaymen, and Mary Ann Carroll is, they broke barriers through art in the mid 20th century, and they many of them are a few of them are still active today of the original artists. And Mary Ann Carroll had to sort of break barriers doubly because she was a Black woman through Jim Crow Florida, and also a woman. So she's a really incredible figure, and we're going to be honoring her. So we would encourage everyone to check out our events page at thehistorycenter.org/events to find out more about that breakfast. It's coming up very soon. And then this weekend, we will also kick off our spring Joseph L. Breckner speaker series. So Craig Pittman will be joining us on Sunday, March 6th to talk about The State You're In, and which is his latest book. And then also on March, I just realized I have the wrong date on my presentation here. It's actually March 13th. That's my mistake. I'm sorry. March 13th, we'll be talking about the legacy of Zora Neale Hurston as a cultural preservationist with N.Y. Nathiri, who is the president of the Preserve Eatonville community organization. In addition, I did want to mention, while people continue to put things in the chat, I did want to mention that we are running a specific campaign right now. If you want to support the History Center and you donate through United Arts, I'll put the link in the chat. If you donate through United Arts to the History Center, United Arts will actually provide a 15% match. And so your money stretches a little farther if you are interested in donating to us if you do it in that way. So I will stop sharing so that I can go back to see the chat and see what we've got going on in there. I'm going to share some links in the chat for everyone. All right, so I'm going to read Charles's comment first. So Charles says, "Thank you for honoring my mother, Commissioner Mary I. Johnson. Not just my mother, but all these amazing women who shaped Central Florida history. So proud of the Orange County Regional History Center for preserving all of their contributions for generations to follow. Also, the Victim Service Center annual gala is April 1st at the Orlando Science Center at 6 p.m. So that is good to know. Thank you, Charles, for sharing that. And I fully agree with you. It is so great to see, to learn about some of these women who, Noelia, if you could have seen me like smiling and nodding my head as you were talking, I know the webinar is a little bit weird, but it's just so inspiring to hear all of these stories. And most of these women, I think people don't know their stories. And so it's really great to see. Let's see, we have, thank you for Barbara.
Oh, that's Barbara Liz.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so right now. Oh.
Well, thank you for joining us, Barbara.
Yes.
She says, "Thank you for your dedication, honoring our school, and speaking such lovely words about all these extraordinary women. I'm honored." We did have a question. You selected so many amazing women, and there are so many more stories. How did you decide? I was thinking that I'm glad someone submitted this question because I was thinking it too. Like, how did you choose who to talk about? They're all so incredible. And how did you come across their stories?
Most of them, To be honest, I'm Latina, I'm Puerto Rican, so I'm always absorbing everything that I hear about Latino history here in Orlando. I am absorbing it. So I knew of Mary Ignacia Johnson, I knew of Nancy Alvarez, and I knew of what Barbara Liz is doing today. And I thought, no, I need to talk about them. They are so important, not only for our community's history, for all of Central Florida's history. For example, and then Mercedes Clark. If you have visited the History Center of any other program, of any other programs, she is vital in the history of Central Florida. So I knew of Mercedes. And while working on another research project, I just wanted to hear her own words, to read her own words. And that's from our archives, I found her speech. And as I read, as I read her own words, I thought, well, no, we need to hear directly from her. And she has something very specific to say about her time. Mary Jane Johnson, I actually did not know about her. I have to give thanks to that to Melissa Proco, who is the museum's research historian. So Melissa is the one who taught me about Mary Jane Johnson. And I just couldn't believe everything that she did and that she achieved. Marion Breckner, even though I ran out of time to speak more about her, thanks to her, I this research center at the museum exists. And then Ruby Sanders, as I said, I was just working another day on another research project, and I was looking at the Voice of Orlando 95 business directory, who lots of people in the collections department, we have used it as a primary source. And then I just noticed Ruby's face. I saw that she showed up twice in the book, and I said, okay, hold up. She must be important because they featured her here. And the more as she's really understudied. So if anyone in the audience knows anything about her, please let me know. We need to build up her history, her biography. So going through the city directories that we have at the museum, by the way, all of these resources are available for everyone to come in. Call me, call anyone at the museum that will refer you to me or to Melissa Proco, and we'll set up a research visit for you. Anyway, so Ruby Sanders, I've been doing that. I love a little bit of detective work, and it's just incredible how all of them they were not only one thing, there were so many things. Musicians, activists, nurses, and they still are everything. I mean, Barbara Liz, who was just here, she is a teacher and she also opened a dance school. Yeah. So I just all of them. As I learned about them, I became a fan. And then when the opportunity came for this program, and I think I'm talking so much, we're gonna run out of time. Sorry, I just thought that I wanted to share their stories. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's incredible. And I mean, you say there were so many things, and we find that with so many of the incredible women throughout history, it's they had to wear so many hats and work so much harder to achieve things, and so it's really inspiring to hear these stories. I really appreciate, and I know everyone else really appreciates your dedication to finding these stories and sharing them with everyone. Like I said, I mean, these are women that we wouldn't know about otherwise. So and not just women, but in particular, so many women of color. So it's really great to hear those stories and to be able to learn more about them and have them be celebrated, even in our small little way with our little lunch and learn.
Yeah, and I thank you for Charles Johnson. I'm not exaggerating. His mother's collection is incredibly productive if you want to study just anything that was going on in Central Florida in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. But also if someone wants to take wants to dig deeper into the Hispanic community around that time, what we have thanks to her story, the materials that we have is incredibly helpful, which I'm still going through.
Mm-hmm.
So really, thank you so much to his family. And I know that he mentions that their gala is coming up on April 1st. So I'm gonna do it myself. I want to encourage everyone to let's just go to their website, support in any way that we can the gala. And for Barbara Liz and Tata Cepeda, if you need to send me an email or call me, I'll direct you to their social media and the school's website. And let's also support them because they are making history too right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, Noelia, for leading our presentation. Thank you everyone for attending today. I did put some links in the chat if you want to learn more about some of the upcoming things that we're doing. Please feel free to visit those, or you can reach out to the museum and with any questions for me, if you have questions about upcoming programming or things that we offer, and if you have questions about research that's available or anything about today's presentation, they will direct your call to myself or Noelia if you're interested in learning more about any of this. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending. I'm going to hang on here for like another minute so that people have a chance to grab those links. Noelia, you can feel free to log off whenever you're ready. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
WNNR-DB, Orlando, Florida, Top 40, radio, giving you exclusive music and interviews worldwide. Are you listening? Are you ready for the exclusive music giving you the sound that your ear needs? WNNR-DB, Orlando, Florida, Top 40, radio. Take the journey, take the ride for this eargasm that will give you the vibe that you need. And we might give you a bit in the music to get lit, or we may give you something that'll make you fall back. Let's go. Let's go. WNNR-DB, Orlando, Florida, Top 40 radio. Station. Let's go. Let's go. WNNR-DB. Station. Let's WNNR-DB, Orlando, Florida, Top 40 radio. Go. Let's go. From OU, Top 40 radio, giving you exclusive music and interviews worldwide. WNNR-DB, Orlando, Florida, Top 40 radio. Go. Florida, Top 40 radio, giving you exclusive music and interviews worldwide. Dope.
I like that man. Yeah. I like the one right here. Yeah. I see through you. I see through you. I see through you. Every time you see, you know I'm in the streets. Got a butt like a bee, cause it's all on me. The hater look at me, cause they wanna be like me. But all they gotta do is grind, baby. See upcoming pop shows. Get tickets for your favorite artist. You might also like meet me on the dark side. DJ Nothin nice, I see through you. I see through you. I see through you. I see through you. copy you. They can't do it like you, so keep on doing what you do. The thing about it though, stack it down the low and watch them all fall while you just laughing about. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. They wanna be in your face, they wanna talk. All that jump behind your back, just gotta see right through. Man, you gotta see right through. Do the trial and tribulation, see through the hate, see the pain, just gotta see right through. Cause they always gonna try you. See through you. I do. You know I do. See, yo, say it with me. See through. Yes, I do. Family, friends, foes, I see through you. Yo, we they plotting on you. I see through you. I see through you. From manipulation, they wanna give you frustration. See through you, but we laughing. See through you. Yes, you see through you. Yo, I see through you. I see through you. I see through you. I see through you. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle, yeah. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle, oh, yeah. Palm tree lifestyle feels so good from the hood to bars. Nothing crush this mood. Palm trees all around me, living life so freely. Palm tree lifestyle, vibes I'm living. Blue skies, palm trees, white sand under my feet. Went from being in the slums, but now I'm having fun. Ooh. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle, yeah. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle, oh. Lay back, getting something light. No stress, no worries, doing alright. Cause at this point, ain't no time for that. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay on track. Slow motion, cause this ain't no race. That palm tree lifestyle's a daily escape. Palm tree lifestyle, palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle, yeah. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle, so give me my sunscreen, my Saratoga water G, my umbrella. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle, yeah. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle, oh. So, give me my sunscreen, my Saratoga water G, my umbrella. Ha. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle, yeah. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle, oh.
Digna Abello. In August 2024, Digna Abello, the daughter of Cuban immigrants, was sworn in as Miami Beach's 14th fire chief. She became the first woman to lead the department since it was established in 1921. Toby Lerner Anson. Toby Lerner Anson founded Miami City Ballet, one of the most renowned ballet companies in the world. In 2010, the Anson Foundation established the Toby Lerner Anson Scholarship Fund, which awards scholarships to talented young dancers. Leslie Bauman. Leslie Bauman, MD, is a renowned dermatologist, researcher, and author specializing in cosmetic dermatology. She is best known for developing the Bauman Skin Typing System. She is the author of the Skin Type Solution and the world's best-selling dermatology textbook, Cosmetic Dermatology: Principles and Practice. Michelle Bernstein. Born and raised in Miami, Chef Michelle "Michie" Bernstein is a James Beard Foundation Award winner in the Best Chef South category. Chef Bernstein hosts 2 Emmy Award-winning television shows, Check Please, South Florida, and SoFlo Taste, and has opened numerous restaurants in the Miami area. Judy Blume. Judy Blume is an internationally known best-selling author of books for children and adults. Blume's most famous work is a coming-of-age novel, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Judy Blume lived in Miami Beach during her elementary school years, and in the 1970s, wrote a novel based on her experiences here. Deborah Plutzik-Briggs. Deborah Plutzik-Briggs has spent the last 40 years in positions dedicated to the arts. She is currently serving as the Vice President for Philanthropy, Arts and Culture at the Betsy Hotel, developing one of the most creative hotel brands in the country. Belkis Nire. Belkis Nire is a well-known Cuban-American television personality and a 5-time Emmy Award-winning journalist. She is the host of the entertaining news show Deco Drive and her own cooking show, Bite with Belkis. Sophie Ringel. Sophie Ringel is the founder and executive director of Clean Miami Beach, a nonprofit dedicated to protecting the fragile ecosystem of South Florida. Since 2019, Sophie has conducted over 430 cleanup events and inspired over 17,500 volunteers. CMB has removed more than 117,000 pounds of trash locally. Twanisha T.T. Terry. Twanisha T.T. Terry is a celebrated American sprinter. She was a member of the 2024 Olympic gold medal-winning U.S. women's 4x100 meters relay team in Paris. TT has clocked sub-11-second times in the 100 meters, making her one of the fastest female sprinters in the world. Tracy Young. Tracy Young is a Grammy Award-winning DJ who has officially remixed for over 100-plus musical artists. She has racked up over 60 #1 U.S. Billboard Dance Club chart hits since 2000. A celebrity favorite, she was crowned Queen of Clubs in South Beach.
Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle. feels so good from the hood to bars. Lightning crush this moon. Palm trees all around me, living life so freely. Palm tree lifestyle vibes I'm living. Blue skies, palm trees, white sand under my feet. Went from being in the slums, but now I'm having fun. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle, yeah. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle, palm tree lifestyle. Lay back, thinking something light. No stress, no worries, doing alright. Cause at this point, ain't no time for that. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay on track. Slow motion cause this ain't no race. That palm tree lifestyle's a daily escape. Palm tree lifestyle, palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle, yeah. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle, palm tree lifestyle. So give me my sunscreen, my Saratoga water tea, my umbrella. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle, yeah. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle, palm tree lifestyle. So, give me my sunscreen, my Saratoga water tea, my umbrella. Ha, 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 ha. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle, yeah. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle, palm tree lifestyle. Oh.
We got top 10 videos of the month, going from state to state, country to country, yeah. DJ Nothin Nice top 10. Top 10 video. Top 10 video. Top 10 video. Videos of the month.
Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle. Oh, yeah, palm tree lifestyle feels so good from the hood to bars. Nothing crushed this mood. Palm trees all around me, living life so freely. Palm tree lifestyle, vibes I'm living. Blue skies, palm trees, white sand under my feet. Went from being in the slums, but now I'm having fun. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle. Lay back, thinking something light. No stress, no worries, doing alright. Cause at this point, ain't no time for that. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay on track. Slow motion, cause this ain't no race. That palm tree lifestyle's a daily escape. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle. So give me my sunscreen, my Saratoga water tea, my umbrella. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle. So, give me my sunscreen, my Saratoga water G, my umbrella. Ha, 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 ha. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle. Oh.
Desde mates hasta triple, sabes que tenemos que conseguirlo. Sabes que es. Cientos del estadio a tope, jugadores listos para jugar. El árbitro explica las reglas y los entrenadores no paran de motivarse. Los aficionados están expectantes porque sus apuestas están dando sus frutos. Jugada tras jugada, canasta tras canasta, el tiempo se acaba, la presión aumenta porque es hora de jugar. Ancestral. sabes que tenemos que conseguirlo, sabes que de cuarto en cuarto, de ciudad en ciudad, de país en país, es hora de jugar. Que no pare, es hora de jugar. Nadie puede pararnos, es hora de jugar. Gimnasio, baloncesto, baloncesto callejero. El tiempo se acaba, 10 segundos en el reloj. Las estrellas no están abiertas. ¿Quién va a tirar? Hora de jugar. Hora de encestar. Hora de jugar. Desde mates hasta triples, sabes que tenemos que conseguirlo. Sabes que es hora de jugar. Hemos estado entrenando. Hora de jugar. Él juega, ella juega, nosotros jugamos. Ellos juegan, todos están listos. Es hora de jugar. ¿Estás listo? Es hora de jugar. Del primer cuarto al cuarto. Es hora de jugar. Dentro del gimnasio, fuera del gimnasio.
Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle. Oh, yeah, palm tree lifestyle feels so good from the hood to bars. I think crush this mood. Palm trees all around me, living life so freely. Palm tree lifestyle, vibes I'm living. Blue skies, palm trees, white sand under my feet. Went from being in the slums, but now I'm having fun. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle. Lay back, thinking something light. No stress, no worries, doing alright. Cause at this point, ain't no time for that. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay on track. Slow motion cause this ain't no race. That palm tree lifestyle's a daily escape. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle. So give me my sunscreen, my Saratoga water tea, my umbrella. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle. So, give me my sunscreen, my Saratoga water G, my umbrella. Ha, 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 ha. Palm tree lifestyle, we're living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle, we stay living it. Palm tree lifestyle. Palm tree lifestyle.
WNNR-DB, Orlando, Florida, top 40, radio, giving you exclusive music and interviews worldwide. Are you listening? Are you ready for the exclusive music giving you the sound that your ear needs?
WNNR-DB, Orlando, Florida, top 40, radio. Take the journey, take the ride for this eargasm that will give you the vibe that you need. And we might give you a bit in the music to get lit, or we may give you something that'll make you fall back. Let's go. Let's go. WNNR-DB, Orlando, Florida, top 40, radio. Station. Let's go. Let's go. WNNR-DB. Station. Let's go. WNNR-DB, Orlando, Florida top 40 radio. Go, go. Let's go. From OU, top 40 radio, giving you exclusive music and interviews worldwide. WNNR-DB, Orlando, Florida top 40 radio. Go, Florida, top 40 radio, giving you exclusive music.